Vamos, vamos,
All right, so the World Cup was just in North America for a little over a month, and Atlanta was one of the host cities. This was a big deal. One, because the World Cup doesn't come to the US that often. Two, it comes to Atlanta even less often. So I wanted to make it down to see what the atmosphere in the city was like. I didn't actually get to go into any of the games. The lowest ticket price I could find was $1,500, and that was for a nosebleed seat. But I did want to go see what the atmosphere was going to be like. And boy, was it crazy. So I hopped in my car, I headed down to Atlanta, and I braved the horrific traffic. Now, traffic in Atlanta is always bad. But in this case, it was even worse because they had exits shut down. There were people all over the streets. The closer I got to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the more I could see the festive nature. People out in the streets, flags flying, and just generally a very festive atmosphere. The entire identity of the city had changed. One of the things I noticed about the atmosphere is that it didn't really feel like a sporting event. It just felt like a cultural event. You saw people repping their teams, but really they were repping their national identity. Some of them a lot more than others. There was so much passion and intensity around the stadium that it really didn't matter that I had tickets. Even though it would have been really nice to be inside the stadium while the game was going on, because it ended up being a nail biter.
A lot at stake, a lot behind him, but what's actually going to happen on the field? Ready to game?
See, I actually left the game around halftime whenever the score was still 0-0. And by the time I made it out of perimeter and up Interstate 85, England had pulled ahead 1-0. But I decided I still wanted to head to a bar to see how everything was going to turn out. And before I could even sit down and order my food, it had already turned into a 1-1 match. In a couple of minutes into stoppage time, it was 2-1 Argentina. And I just knew it had to be absolute chaos back at the stadium. It also made me think about what I had seen while I was down there. See, whenever I was in the crowd and I could see the intensity of the Argentinian fans, I could see that they really had a true passion and a true belief that no matter what happened that day, they were coming out of there with the victory. And I'm sure there was a lot of nervousness whenever they were down 0-1 as the game was closing out. But that belief is what allowed them to score 2 goals in the closing minutes of the game to make sure that they were secure at their spot in the finals. So overall, my experience with the World Cup was great. Even though I didn't get to go in, it was fascinating to just get to see such a cultural event come to Atlanta and take over the city and just see it transform everything. To see the people from the different nations, especially the Argentinians, come in and have such lively amounts of passion, fully invested in their national team, and seeing them be successful on their way to the final game was just an awesome thing to see. I really hope that I get another opportunity to attend World Cup game, whether it's here or in another country. Because if the game is half as good as the experience that I got on the outside, well, I want to make sure that I can experience that in person from the inside too.